Hey guys, so today we're going to be running through the steps that I take to build out a welcome flow. So this works for almost any brand. Particularly, I work a lot with e-commerce brands, so this will be really catered to that audience. I think I'm going to use kind of a faux company in the e-commerce space to fit this. But if you're struggling with your welcome flow, you're not sure how many emails to send, you're not sure what they should say, follow along. We're going to workshop it live. This is exactly what I do with my clients to workshop a welcome series that is nurturing, it's effective, it's converting. So let's jump in. Okay, so first things first. I like to use a program called Miro. You don't have to use it if you don't want to, but to me, it is one of the more refined kind of workshopping, wireframing type tool. Just helps me get all my thoughts down onto an actual board like this. So if you want to get on Miro, you can follow along with me. I'll put a link down below that you can jump into. But first things first, I'm going to give this a title. So let's go ahead and call this. I think what I'm gonna do in this example is stick with a, maybe like a supplement brand. How about that? So we'll call our supplement brand. Keep it really simple. And we'll call this example board. And I think I can share this with you guys afterwards too. So if you want, I'll put it in the description too, where you just have this board after we're finished to just kind of jump in and work with as well. Okay. So first things first, no matter what platform you're using, you'll have a pretty standard trigger happening, which is somebody subscribes, right? So we'll kind of map this out. Let's say somebody is subscribing. This is kind of that green action that's happening. That's the trigger for the flow. And when I'm thinking through a subscription, like someone has opted in, usually that first email is fulfilling an offer. That's a possibility. Or they're kind of coming in organically. Maybe they opted in via the footer. There's a few different scenarios here. I will typically filter out anybody who purchased. So let's say somebody never opted into your website, and then they opt in via checkout. So technically they didn't really opt in before they made their purchase. You don't really want to send them this welcome flow because at that point they should be triggering a post-purchase flow, which then does nurturing for your first-time purchasers. So I'm just going to put in here, no orders, just as a note to myself. This is going to be for people who are so new to the brand, they haven't even purchased yet. We're trying to get them to convert, okay? So this first email, you got to keep it pretty simplified, right? So I typically like to make it almost like a reinforcer of you are here. This is where you were and now you're here, if that makes any sense. So reinforcing a welcome offer. So, welcome email 1, and we'll have this one reintroduce is what I mean. Reintroduce welcome offer. So whether or not your pop-up shows it right away, or even if you don't have a pop-up, I highly recommend having a welcome offer. You don't have to, but usually that is one of the main barriers to entry. People are waiting for a welcome offer. So having that piece here, which on that note, for the rest of our emails, this is going to be a good exercise. Let's go ahead and do this with our little supplement brand. When I'm building a welcome series, I'm thinking through hurdles. So when someone subscribes to my brand, what is going through their brain? Why wouldn't they purchase from me? So let's listing out the hurdles here. I'm going to say price point is going to be 1, right? Price point, no matter your price point, is going to be a hurdle for somebody because they want a welcome offer or something like that to push them along, or a free shipping offer, something. So price point is always going to be someone's top of mind. Am I getting a good deal is another way to phrase it. Am I getting a good deal? Question mark. And for our supplement brand, I'm just thinking through, with pretty much any other supplement brand, let's see, we're thinking through science, right? Or is it safe? Like, is this just like some kind of supplement brand out of nowhere, or is it based in science? Is it verified? Is it tested? All of these things. Tested, verified. I think there's a verification process supplements go through from like the US, I don't want to say USDA. That's not the right thing, I don't think. But something like that, right? Is it based in science? Is it safe? Is it tested? I know another big one that comes up is taste. Especially if you have a like fish oil supplement a part of your lineup, like taste is huge. Like, is that even top of mind with your brand? Is this going to taste horrible? Maybe what to expect is kind of a hurdle. Like, if I start this supplement, will I see results? And maybe we don't want to promise them anything, right? But we want to be clear with them, like, you know, to set up a routine, you need to be in it for like 90 days or something like that. So kind of being clear that there needs to be a routine to follow, but in their brain, they're like, is this going to work for me? I can't sleep at night, right? Like maybe that's their thing. I can't sleep at night. Is this supplement going to help? Or, you know, maybe this, you know, whatever it might be, is it going to help me sleep at night? Is it going to help me be focused during the day? Is it going to help me? That is a good one. Is it going to help my problem? That's what's going through their head. I got a problem. We don't know what their problem is, but we need to address that somehow, right, in these emails. What else? Oh, reviews, customer stories, social proof, meaning, have other people tried this brand? And what is their experience? Because telling those customer stories could be how we speak to their problem indirectly and saying like, okay, that person had a problem with this, with their sleep. That's the problem I have. Let's see, what other hurdles? Price points, science, taste. So with a supplement brand, let's see. I guess, could it possibly be, not After Effects. What would we call this? We would call this, oh my gosh, my brain is blanking, but, reactions, bad reactions, reactions to supplement, question mark? Maybe that's going through their head of like, okay, if I take this, will it make me nauseous or something like that? Like that could be going through their head. Okay. There's our hurdles, right? Let's just stick with these for now. We got these hurdles going on. Okay. All right. So say we have these hurdles. So these are basically going to be what fills our welcome sequence, because in reality, someone subscribes, these things could be going through their head, and your welcome emails need to like punch all of these hurdles down into the ground. Like, hey, we're based in science. This is what we've done. Hey, here's our customer reviews. Here's what they say. So we want to kind of really address the hurdles. So that's the easiest way to fuel your welcome series, is try to break down every potential hurdle someone might have moving forward with your brand, okay? So our welcome email, reintroducing the welcome offer. This could be as well when we introduce value propositions. Excuse me if I misspell anything in here. So what does that mean? Ideally, your brand has some core value propositions. What makes you stand out from other brands? So for the supplement brand, maybe it's going to be, maybe it's vegan is one, right? Maybe it's like vegan, that's a big thing. Doctor approved. That's probably not a good example, but like doctor approved, whatever that might be. And maybe it's, 5,000 plus 5-star reviews. Those are examples, right? These are things that you could anchor your business on and have in your emails as like the evergreen value propositions, okay? So welcome email 1, pretty standard. We don't want to overdo it. We don't want to send them too much information. In general, this is going to be one of your most highest converting emails. If it isn't, then there's an issue, okay? But this is normally your highest converting email. So we're really focusing in on the welcome offer. Light kind of like, hurdle breaking down with some of the value propositions, okay? Let's get into our second email. And this really depends on your list, but I normally send this email the very next day. Because here's the thing. When someone subscribes to your brand, I mean, you really have like a limited window of time to really capture their attention and establish trust. They may not convert, but you want to be in their brain in some way. Like, even if they're not going to convert in this flow, when you're sending out your campaigns later on, they had a journey through this sequence that brought them to a point of being closer to purchasing. That's the goal. We do want them to convert as well, but you know, sometimes people need like multiple touch points, okay? All right, welcome email number 2. So this is where I like to rank the hurdles here. Normally in the welcome email 2, I like to touch on brand mission and story. So what you're doing in this brand mission and story email is we're really kind of validating the history of the brand. And if you don't have this piece, that's fine. But normally, like let's go to, I don't know if they have this, but Ritual, let's see if they do. I know they're a supplement brand. They may not have this piece, which if they don't, then, okay, the who we are section, right? Here we go. So this is a great example of like, take this info and plug it into an email because they're really reinforcing who they are. I love this line, for skeptics by skeptics, because that's a huge piece of like the supplement industry. Like they're like, is this really going to work for me? Like there's all that in someone's brain. But anyways, this is where you can reinforce this is your brand mission. Like this line right here, we're for skeptics by skeptics. We're not about pseudoscience or half-truths. Like that's huge. That really sets them apart and says like, this is what they do. This is not what we do. We are, you know, we are not about that pseudoscience life, right? So that would be an example of a brand mission email, is basically repurposing your about us, who we are, into an email. It should be addressing hurdles. So for example, with Ritual, for example, I mean, they're talking about someone who doesn't know if it's based in science. Like that's, you know, directly calling out a hurdle that I listed, which was like, hey, is it based in science? Can I trust it? And then there's other pieces here that they're kind of breaking down too, that stuff I didn't even think of like, okay, you know, what are the, you know, ingredients? Are there clinical studies? Like that's huge. And I do love this too. Like this could be a good piece to it of saying like, you know, it's a woman-owned business. And then this is Katarina's story. And then having that listed as well. That's a great kind of brand mission approach of having it from the founder. So that is what welcome email 2 should be. I like to have your welcome offer kind of like stuck at the top still. Maybe as like a little banner, or after this piece, having a direct call out, like a banner at the bottom. So still having that mention there if someone did miss the first email. All right, let's get into the third email. And spoiler alert, I'm just gonna let you know, this is gonna be about 7 or 8 emails. And it seems like a lot. And most of my clients say the same thing. Don't you think that's a lot? And trust me, it's not. Like nowadays, you have to be top of mind. You have to get messages in front of them. So it's going to seem like a lot, but as long as you're providing value and you're really hitting on these hurdles, it's going to land well. Trust. Okay. So email number 3. Let's say our next hurdle is going to be, you know what? The reviews and customer stories. So let me change that. Customer stories. So I think having that piece in here could be a good way to address a few things, which is social proof. Does this work for other people? But also, is it going to help my problem? So you know what I would do is I would take 3 stories, all different, and they all address different pain points, address different concerns the person had, like different routines, supplement routines, address different products and routines. So what you could have in that email is like, story number 1. And you don't have to have this email like lines and lines of copy. This could be like 3 blocks. It's talking about story 1, 2, and 3, and they have to click read more on the blog to go read. And then you could do like a soft sell into listing out the products that they used in the bottom. But you're really focusing in on saying like, hey, this is Margaret. She had issues finding a prenatal vitamin, like Katerina was talking in her story. So you could have that in there. Really speaking to a very specific demographic, which will be women and women that are pregnant. But having that story there, I mean, that's, a huge hurdle of, women out there trying to find a safe and reliable prenatal vitamin, right? And then another one could be, a super active person who needs something, that helps them sleep at night and recover from, workouts and things like that. Just mixing it up. Think of the top 3 customer personas that you have. Try to find customer stories and reviews that fit that. Have that fill this email. That's my approach to it. If you don't have customer stories, then just try to pull customer reviews, but your post-purchase sequence should be filling this. So I could do a whole other video on a post-purchase sequence, but your post-purchase sequence should have some UGC requests, user-generated content requests at the end of them. So if someone, it gets all the way, they do their first purchase, tell us your story. We want to feature you on the website. So that fuels this piece. All right, I think a big one we want to then dive into is just like products. Like, hey, these are the products that we offer, but we can do a fun approach to this, right? So what you could do with email number 4 is, I think, kind of a spin on the customer story one of saying like, struggling with question mark. This could be a product breakdown. So for this one, you could have, similar to the customer story, but a different approach to it, is saying like struggling with sleep, top 3 bestsellers for sleep. Focus, top 3 for focus, that kind of thing. So it's not just like, this is our bestseller, this supplement to help you fall asleep. It's like, okay, but maybe you can have more content related to that. You could have more, the copy really addressing like, I'm going to help you with this issue you're having specifically. So that's what I'm picturing with this one. Don't make it just like, these are our bestsellers, product. It needs to tell a bit of a story. So having, struggling with sleep, this is totally making it up because it's a fake brand, but it's like we've, tested and verified that to get a good night's sleep, you need to have, this ingredient. We've only combined the best ingredients to make sure you sleep like a baby tonight. Having some storytelling there, and then saying like, here's this supplement and this one and this one. So that's what we're picturing in my brain for that one. Okay, email number 5. All right, so let's see, what hurdles do we have left? We've pretty much crossed off customer reviews. We could totally do another email that focuses on customer reviews, but we've done that, right? Is it gonna help my problem? This one we've addressed in a few different ways, but I'll leave that one open. Science, price point, we're addressing with the welcome offer, what to expect, will I see results? Okay, so I think the next one we can do is going to be the science piece. So in particular, if you have a brand that has blog posts that support your products, that support your brand message, that's where these can live. So in this particular example, we're doing science. Is it safe? But this could just be blog content supporting your brand. So let me think of another brand idea. So let's say you're a, you are in, oh my God, why am I drawing a blank? You're an apparel brand, right? You're an apparel brand. So you're a women's yoga brand. Okay. So doing some content about, maybe you have a blog post that's like, your morning routine, yoga, workout. And then it's kind of like doing a shop a lookbook almost. So it's like content, but the lookbook is like what they're wearing in the blog post. So you're creating a story, right? You're creating trust. Your welcome flow is being like, okay, you know, yes, I have all these things that are being addressed, and now I'm on to a bit more storytelling and content and just things that I would like to receive as your ideal customer. That's what we're shooting for here. So with this one, I'm going to pull blog posts and maybe like lead with a section that addresses a top science concern or something like that, right? So I'm thinking like in general, maybe with like ritual, for example, like they had that pseudoscience section. This could be a total email dedicated to why we are not pseudoscience and like half-truths that other supplement brands are. That could purely be this email here, but we're just kind of leveraging content and we're addressing a concern, which is it safe? Is it tested? Is it verified? Can I take this and, you know, put this supplement in my body and feel confident about it? We're just breaking that one down, okay? Okay, let's get into email number 6. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, so what do we have left here? So I'm thinking, let's get in, ideally, at least 2, maybe a third one. Okay, email 6. Okay, let's see, safe, got it. So we have taste, what to expect. Okay, I like that one. What to expect. That could almost be what to expect or like starting your routine. So always try to have your emails in a lot of ways, like putting it in like their perspective. So it's like, you know, starting your routine. This is what your supplement routine could look like. So what to expect. Maybe it's almost like a first 30 days on our best-selling product. So if our best-selling product is this, you know, again, I'll stick with sleep. So if it's sleep, it's like, okay, what to expect first 30 days on our sleep. First, you know, make sure that you are taking it regularly, and this is our recommended dosage. And when you take it, you may experience very vivid dreams. I know that some people have those reactions to sleep products. But you have to keep on your routine to have a really strong routine on this. You know, make sure you do it for 30 days. Kind of having that language there, okay? So that's what we're having in email number 6, what to expect. So we're projecting with them. We're saying this is your routine. This is what to expect. This could lead to a longer blog post as well. And that's a real great evergreen content of like, I feel like people search that all the time. Like, you know, what to expect, you know, taking a sleeping supplement or something like that, right? Okay. And with this too, I think we could address taste in that one. You know, that's a bit specific to each product, right? So I think you could have copy maybe mentioned in the product breakdown, that kind of depends on if you have a product that has like flavors and things. Or, ooh, if you're able to pull it into a customer story, that might work well, of being like, I loved not, you know, it wasn't disgusting like my other supplements. If you can get that into a customer story, that would be really good. Okay, and you know what, we're kind of addressing like how can it help my problem, but maybe, and this is like kind of what to expect, like with reactions, we could mention that a bit, or mention it in the science piece as well as I read more. Is it going to help my problem? So you know what we could do here? You know what? I'll put that in the last email. That's how I usually address that last piece. We'll get to that. So welcome email number 7. This one, we're going to keep it real simple. I recommend at this point, if someone's gone all the way down in this series and they haven't converted yet, let's do a deadline offer. Next 24 hours, save, blah, blah. So have a bit of urgency there. They've had a bit of education at this point. Let's go ahead and introduce that and have like a next 24 hours deadline offer. And deadline offer just means that there's a deadline to it. They have to act now to move forward with it. And it's a bit better than the welcome offer. Okay, email number 8. I like to do this for a lot of my brands that are struggling with maybe content or understanding their customers or just making sure that they're on the right track with their messaging. And this is where we could introduce a feedback survey. So you could send them to something like Typeform. So let's say we put this in here. We'll make this like a Typeform or something. And ask like one question. Why haven't you moved forward with us? ? So why haven't you moved forward? And then in it, you can leave it open-ended, but honestly, it's like hard to really kind of like quantify that. Like if people are all saying like different things and it's like, okay, well, what is majority of people saying? So I would say like have like 7 to 8 options to choose from. And it could be multiple choice. Like they can pick multiple ones. If it's price, if it's trust, you can kind of adjust the questions to fit a bit more kind of personal way, but you can say like, this is more expensive than my current supplement that I take, or I'm not sure the brand is based in science. I'm not sure if I can trust the brand. I'm just not ready to purchase yet. It could be something super, super simple like that. I'm just not ready to purchase yet. So asking these questions, and then the email can be super short and sweet of like, we're looking to improve and we'd love your feedback. Send them here, collect this, and then this can fuel all of the A/B testing you could do in your welcome flow later. Like if people are just like harping on it's not based in science, woo, you better add like 3 more emails in here that are all about the science and like reinforcing that piece. And then also doing campaign sends that are just reinforcing it like crazy. Okay, timing. This all depends on people's audiences, but here's the usual timing I do. First 3 emails, 1 day waits. Then let's move into a 2-day wait. We can pull that one in there. And then, I keep it super simple, y'all. Then we're going to move into a 3-day wait. And then we're going to move into a 4-day wait. And then finally, we're moving into the next week after that. So this spans over, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So, about like, 2 weeks worth, right? So it's a pretty decent welcome flow. It's spread out enough. Keep in mind, I recommend that they should be getting no other flows. This is the flow they're in. They're in a path. They're in a journey to be educated, and it is just these emails hitting their inbox. At a certain point, they could get campaigns. Like I think when you get to like email 5, 6, they can start getting campaign sends as well. So make sure you're segmenting that piece. But these ones here, these first initial ones, we're just like, they're on a path. They're on an education journey, and we're sticking them through here. Okay. Okay. So that is a welcome flow, kind of outlined. So that's how I usually go about outlining it. Then we get into design. Then we get into copywriting and all those pieces. And that's a whole other thing. But you want to make sure you have the strategy behind your welcome flow locked in. And that's what this is doing here. And then, of course, when you launch it, I am the first to tell my clients we have to test. We're doing best practices. Once it's launched, if one email is, just not performing, it's testing subject lines, it's testing content, it's testing brand new direction. So keep that in mind when you're going through this, that you need to test and optimize. It's just not like set it and forget it. Always improving, okay? Hopefully this was helpful though. I'll have the links to this so you can just kind of jump in and kind of play with your own Miro board, outlining pieces, pulling in things, and just strategizing your own welcome flow. So best of luck out there, and put anything in the comments if you have any questions or any clarification that you need. Let me know, and super excited to see you create some really effective welcome flows. Okay, bye.